Well, hello. We are so back and hopefully with a better connection than we've had the last few days. Black Hat team, I don't know if you're in here, but shout out to you. He gave me some pointers on how to potentially make my web browser work better because I've had a little bit of issues the last couple of days. So we're going to try some things out. Hopefully we get working a little better for you. So thank you. Oh, thank you for saying I have nice hair. Well, thank you. All of a sudden I looked over and saw a nice little compliment to me. Hello, I see you, John Legend, the legend, Mike Volmer. Thank you for the sweet compliment. Peace of my mind. You know the nose cam is back, except for you get a little more than just my nose now. So it's a little more than just the smell-o-vision going on over there. So, yes, crypto has dipped. It is so much doom and gloom. It is all over, you guys. Oil is going to $300 a barrel. I'm just kidding. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Maybe not. Speaking of, I need to get fuel. I'm not happy. I'm not happy, you guys. It's going to be over $5 officially. Officially over the $5 fuel. I'm not happy about it. So, but these things happen. These things happen. There is a lot of global uncertainty and it continues. It continues. I feel like I turned on X this morning and got a flood of news from late in the day yesterday. I don't know why it withholds information from me. So, but you know, I'm all caught up to speed now. These things happen. So, but I still remain bullish overall. The reason I pulled open the charts yesterday and talked about going back to 69,000 was because I feel like we might potentially touch it again before I think we go back up again. I think we might go back up again. So there's just so much global uncertainty now. There's so much global uncertainty. And I have friends who are in Dubai. And one of my friends, Metamona, she recently relocated to Dubai, and I've been thinking about her a lot lately. She's been creating content, she's posting stuff, she's doing interviews, she's in the area, and you know, my thoughts go out to her because she is in Dubai right now, and you know, she's remaining positive, and things, you know, for the most part have been relatively safe, and that's a good thing. But all I could think of is, oh my gosh, can you imagine being over there? Like American citizen who's never really been in like a war-torn region and now it is active because, you know, there is like, in my lifetime, there was September 11th, but really it was just that one day and then it was over. It wasn't like the ongoing fighting. So I just, you know, my friends who are over there, I have friends in crypto who are over there. So I've been thinking about them lately and I hope they're staying positive and remaining optimistic because man, that would not be where I would want to be right now. I am very thankful to be here in the United States. I don't know that I'm thankful for $5 gas, but the weather here is amazing. I mean, yesterday my kids went swimming. It is still technically winter and my kids were swimming and they swam, like pulled all the floaties out and were in the pool for like an hour. So it was like great weather. So it was good to see. And so for the next week, we have just like record breaking heat wave going on right now, which, you know, it feels like summer already. It's crazy. But I'm working on my tan, you guys. So that's good. I'm not going to be all pasty for Bitcoin Vegas. Hello, Po Man. How are you? Let me go ahead and throw the comments up there. Yeah, you figured Dubai wasn't hit. Fake news, I guess. You know, there were people that were saying that the airport was hit. That was fake news. There was a lot of fake news coming out. But, you know, is no doubt that they have to have the military capabilities to intercept missiles, to intercept things, to limit damage. And now we have hit the largest oil refinery in Iran. So now that we've hit the largest oil refinery in Iran, they're saying to the neighboring countries, Qatar, UAE, just you get away from the energy infrastructure. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Now, that is only, Dubai, Qatar, so on and so forth. Again, like we've talked about, they are working on building out the refineries, quadrupling the size down in Venezuela. Venezuela is much closer to here. So there's that. There is that. So I am continuing to remain optimistic. There was a piece of news that one of the first oil pipelines that has been off for almost 10 years has come back online, which is just crazy to me. I feel like, are these pipelines that have been shut off for this long, are they in any sort of a condition to use? So I worry about that a little bit because, that's like, okay, we're starting oil pipelines that haven't been used in a long time. And what if there's a failure? And then now we've got oil spills all over the place. So there's that too, which is why we should have never taken them offline in the first place. So we can do things to mitigate the environmental impacts without saying that we need to be completely reliant on foreign oil. And you look at other countries are starting to have gasoline shortages, and it will be interesting to see the supply chain is going to have some impacts on that. So prices overall are starting to go up. In fact, they're saying now that this war with Iran could potentially cause irreparable inflation. Like the inflation is going to go up. And, perhaps that is true if there is enough oil being produced from the area that is no longer being produced. But we're starting to see some impacts of this globally. And so there's going to be domino effects. What I keep thinking about though is because I go and pull some of my news from the BRICS news because as you guys know, BRICS is who are trying to work away from the US dollar, the US petrodollar. And so you pull up BRICS and the news coming out from BRICS is more from that side. It's more biased for that side. And so BRICS being Brazil, Russia, Iran, China. And so I can't help but feel like, we kind of know where Brazil stands in a global economy. Iran is going to war right now, and they're having major things happening with their energy infrastructure. Russia has been at war for a while now in Ukraine, has had some pressure on them. And so Russia, really then you look at BRICS, the alliance that is BRICS, and there are other countries who have signed in on BRICS. But really the strongest then would be China. And China is who's feeling the squeeze right now with the Iranian oil being off. Is it India? Is it India? It is not India. Is it India? I feel like Iran, it's India. But China ultimately in they're feeling the squeeze. They're feeling the squeeze. They're feeling the squeeze. And hold on, now you got me wanting to look this. Hold on, now I gotta look. Now you're making me look. Because I have a hard time believing that India would be going against the US. Because we have such a huge, it is India, he just checked. Because we have such a huge, Brazil, you're right. I thought it was Iran. India and South Africa. but has expanded to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE. And the UAE is, they're technically on the U.S. side. 20% of the population in the UAE is Iranian. So when Iran fires on the UAE, 20% of the people that are in the firing line are their own people. We're watching this global alliance that tried to move away from the U.S. petrodollar fall in real time is what's going on right now. You give me the facts, Poe man. Thank you. Yes, Iran is in there. See, I knew Iran was in there. But you're right. I was looking at the Indian flag and I am like, oh yeah, Iran. No, it's India. It's India. So, but I find it extremely interesting when you step back and take a look at all of these people who are coming together. An intergovernmental organization comprising of major emerging economies aimed at enhancing geopolitical influence and challenging Western-led economic structures. So they all came together to represent roughly 29% or 39% of the global GDP and over 40% of the population. So, yeah, Brian, he leaves us on Wednesday, but now he started to throw a Tuesday in there because now all of a sudden he said yesterday there was some show on, but I thought his show day was Wednesday. And I honestly, I feel like Brian's cheating on me and I'm not okay with that. I also have his Bitcoin shirt for him and he is too scared to give me his address to ship it to him. So if somebody would kindly like to get me an address, I will ship Brian's shirt to him. I have been holding on to it since the Bitcoin conference last year. It's okay. I'm going to spray my perfume on it before I send it to him. Oh, Brian, see what you're missing. I'm miscalling all the BRICS nations. It's all right. Look, we've pulled together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've pulled together 8 countries to pull up 39% of the global GDP. But it's literally almost half of the world. Half of the world is like, oh, I'm frozen. I am frozen? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. I looked over and I was like, I'm frozen. Here, I thought I was doing good. I thought we were solid today. Thought it was Gucci. No. Failed. We were frozen. I'm not. No, but I was for a moment. Maybe it was a me. It could have been a me thing. That's good. No freezing today. You guys, this is still just the intro because this is Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis. As always, this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network. I am jittery. I am on my third or fourth coffee. I am jittery today. I had a good sleep last night. No coyotes were yipping outside my window. I slept good. I woke up recharged. I was dancing in the car today. I was like, Yep. I was bumping, guys. I was in a good mood. I was feeling the vibes today. Even though the chart is down, the chart has to come down for us to go up. Do I think we're out of the bear market? No, I don't. But I'm feeling pretty positive that we're getting near-ish the bottom, hovering near-ish the bottom. Do we go down lower? Maybe. But when we hit bottom, we sit at bottom and we hover around bottom and everybody speculates. And if you haven't accumulated, then you're on the sidelines when things start to move. And we don't like that. We don't want to be sidelined, especially when there's cheap Bitcoin to buy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. John Legend, I get cracked on coffee all day too. Like I am at whatever age it is where you can drink coffee and then fall asleep after. So I saw that about Wendy saying that the coyotes tried to eat her. Yes, I did not realize we've always had coyotes in my neighborhood and they would come like sit up on the hillside. So I would never leave the houses at night to go run because it gets hot here during the daytime. I can't run outside during the daytime. So I'd have to do it like at night or early in the morning. But I get scared because there's coyotes in the back hillside and Wendy's right. Like they're no joke. And I've never had a pack of coyotes and there's like a pack of coyotes now. So we have a whole coyote problem. So bears are a problem here too. Occasionally mountain lions, but very, 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 very rarely mountain lions. So, and I like to hike. Hiking is like my jam. And, one time I was hiking on a trail that had a lot of like warning mountain lion signs, and that scared the crap out of me. And so now I've just decided if I'm going to go do hikes in like remote places like that, I need to take my dog, my cattle dog. He'll take one for the team. Although I don't know, those little coyote puppies, they can't be very big and he's just started to kind of bark at him. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. We're on a 15-minute chart here, and Bitcoin has just continued to go down, 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 and money flow is in the red. We've got this just atrocious, saggy, uni boob thing with big giant green dots, just not looking good for us here in terms of the short term. In fact, I kind of zoomed out here because I wanted to see on this market cipher line down here what we were looking like because it looks so good in the green. And then we had these little blips of red that money was starting to flow out. But then we went back to green. But then these little blips were a nice indicator that something bigger was coming. And we did. We moved down. Yes, you love the uni boob. Oh my gosh, why did I read the comments? I should have known better. If I say certain things, I need to know to not look at the comments. So, all right, we are still money flow in the red. So although we have a green candle, we can tell that this is still going to continue to go down. We are all the way at 70,800. So Bitcoin is working its way to 69. So who would have thought? Who would have thought? All right, let's go take a look at oil. I want to take a look at oil because oil looks the other way. Hold on, it's got to think apparently. All right. Oil is just nice money flow into the green now. And it's just big green candles going up. So will we get back above 100? Well, it depends on what happens. If Iran continues to have any sort of attack on neighboring countries and their facilities, their energy infrastructure, we're going to continue to see this move up. Has California repealed the gas tax? Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely freaking not. The more expensive places are already well over $6 a gallon, but your cheapy, like, AM, PM, your just like Sinclair, your cheaper gas stations. I mean, those are all, we're all well in the $5 a gallon right now. So you want to know what's funny, you guys? I was thinking about this. Oil has hit $100 a barrel before in the past. And I'm talking like 20 years ago. And I would try and find the time frame right now, but I don't know. I would probably get lost in the sauce trying to do that. Let me see if we can do it. We do. Oh, yeah. See, I'm going to get lost in the sauce if I try and do this. There's no way. Can I do it? Can we make it happen? Can we make it happen? Wait, I can't see the timeline down here though. I can't see the timeline. When is this? When is this? So oil, as we could see, way back here was over $100 a barrel. Almost 120. Look at, we weren't even all-time high. All-time high over here. Let's see. We hit 130, 120. I remember this. I remember. We don't need to talk about how long ago that was. We'll just forget. We'll just forget I talked about how long ago that was. Okay, we'll just forget about that. But what the funny thing is, and why I'm bringing up oil being 120 a barrel, and why we're looking at right here, we're looking at about 100 a barrel again. Back when it was 100 a barrel before, I think we were paying like $2 a gallon of gas here in California. Like $1.99. How come the price per barrel of oil is $100 like it was that long ago, but I am paying so much more on the receiving end? Why is it so much more now? Why? Why? I have questions. I need answers. All right, let's move on. I want to take a look at gold because gold is getting absolutely wrecked. It was at 5,100. It's at 48.25 now. If you had a short on gold, congratulations. I do know people who had shorts on silver, and silver's trading at $75 an ounce. In fact, I had a couple of pieces of silver. I was thinking I was going to go change them in, but again, because it's gold or because it's silver and it's a physical piece and I got to go drive to the special store and I got to go fill out the paperwork and do all the things, I didn't do it. So, potentially if geopolitical stuff continues, Mike Bulmer, I know you sold the top of your gold and silver. I like to hodl it and round trip. And when I'm poor, I just pull out my coins and look at them and say, man, remember when I was rich? Yeah, we should have all, when Costco started selling gold, we should have all bought then. We should have all bought Costco gold then. But yeah, so here we are. If you have a short on silver, things are looking good for you. All right, let's go ahead, take a look at Bitcoin because it's still sitting here. Oh, 70K. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Still hanging on to 2,100, although it is down from 22. Taking a look at a Solana that's retraced just slightly. It was up, trying to inch closer to 95, but no, we did not. We hit about 91. We're down at 89 right now. Chainlink is holding on though. Chainlink did touch all the way up to $10. It's down to $9.15 cents. Binance though, it did have a nice little pop up and is back to kind of where it was when we first started looking at it, 646. So Dogecoin's 9 cents. All right. Everything else is looking just about the same. All right. I want to take a look at the crypto bubbles. Yes, sometimes depending on where you go take your physical gold or silver to, sometimes they have you fill out paperwork because they want to make sure that like you haven't stolen anything. You're not flagged in their system. Like it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing when you're dealing with your physical metals. If I go buy a physical like precious metal, they don't care. But if I go sell anything, then yeah, they want to like ask me for my driver's license and they take my fingerprint. They do all of the things. They do all of the things. I'm sure there are some other places I could go to where they don't do those things. I'm sure there is. But yeah, the place that I go to that I deal with here in town, they do all of that. So I know. Gotta love it. Biometrics all the way, right? Come, let me scan your fingerprint. Okay, so here we are on the top 100, mostly red across the board, with the exception of a few outliers like this weird one, Siren. When I first popped this open, you guys, I was taking a look here. My dog coin was here, right? Dog coin, it's down. Surprise, surprise. We're still not at the lowest point of when it had maximum FUD from Magic Eden, but we're right about at that point. So it's sad to see dog is down, but what really makes me laugh is Pippin, because remember how Pippin was in the top 100 for the longest time, and all I could think of is freaking why. Well, yeah, now it's ranked 224 from just like a couple weeks ago. So absolute rug, as most of them are. But here we are. There's actually, when you look at this, 200 to 300. This is the third page. Yes, this is the third page of coins. But there's so many coins on here now that were towards the top that have moved down. Okay, like we've got Zora on here. We've got Brett on here. And this is Brett on base. Dog again. Let's see. There was another one. Oh, ApeCoin. ApeCoin's currently trading at 9 cents. In fact, I've been meaning to talk about ApeCoin because I registered on the Made website to stream on Made, and that is it is the streaming platform that is tied to ApeChain. So once I have my account set up, I just need to get it connected into my StreamYard, and then I will be streaming over there on ApeChain. So kind of excited about it, you guys. So all right, let's see here. Like, what are we going to bring up to talk about first? All right, you guys, I got it. Let's go ahead and dive into the breaking news. All right, you guys, having flashbacks from 2021. Sam Bankman-Fried's bankrupt exchange FTX is set to repay creditors $2.2 billion this month. The trust handling the bankruptcy proceedings detailed how much will be distributed to creditors and claimants at the end of March. So, FTX Recovery Trust announced Wednesday it will distribute roughly $2.2 billion to creditors on March 31st as part of its ongoing bankruptcy recovery process, with additional payments to preferred equity holders scheduled later this year. The payout marks the fourth distribution under FTX Chapter 11 reorganization plan that will go to creditors in both convenience and non-convenience classes who have completed required onboarding steps, the trust statement says. The funds are expected to arrive within 1 to 3 business days via BitGo, Kraken, or Payoneer. So the trust also clarified all distributions are made in US dollars to designated service providers, which then offer options for fiat withdrawal or conversion into digital assets. The previous distribution to creditors took place from September 30th, when the trust announced the release of $1.6 billion, the third major payout since the collapse of the crypto exchange more than 3 years ago. Earlier rounds totaled more than $6 billion as part of the process aimed at recovering assets for users through the once prominent cryptocurrency exchange, which collapsed in November 2022, triggering a steep crypto bear market. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder and CEO of the exchange, is serving a 25-year sentence after being found guilty on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. The latest distribution pushes recovery rates higher across several claim classes, the trust said. The statement added that this 4th distribution, those eligible for distribution classed a Class 5A.com, would receive an additional 18%, bringing the total recovery to 96%. While U.S. customer claims classed a 5B would reach a full recovery of 100%, then those class 6A and 6B would recover 100% recovery, each receiving a 15% increment. So yeah, to me, if the total asset recovery is 96%, I can see why he gets upset of the funds were there. It just wasn't where you guys thought that they were. So FTX said that customers who opted to receive funds through the designated distribution provider have waived their right to direct cash payments and must work with those platforms to access their funds. The estate also set April 30th as the record date for its first payment to preferred equity holders, with payments scheduled for March 29th. So like I said, I can see why SBF is like, hey, let me out of jail. You guys had your money. Yeah. So let's move on. Yesterday, we did not get a chance to talk about Kalshi, but Kalshi is receiving some stuff, some filings from the state of Arizona. And so this is them rebuttaling. Kalshi co-founder fights back against Arizona's overstep in what a lawyer calls a federal state turf war. Arizona has filed 20 criminal counts against Kalshi, a prediction market platform, accusing it of operating an illegally gambling business and offering election wagering in the state. So, Kalshi co-founder Tariq Mansour has called Arizona's criminal case against the company a total overstep, casting the move as an attack on federally regulated exchange rather than a standard of gambling enforcement action. Mansour said that the charges have nothing to do with gambling or the merits, and argued that Arizona is trying to short-circuit a broad court fight over who controls prediction markets. Speaking to Bloomberg, he said Kalshi will continue to defend the business even as the legal battle expands. Kalshi didn't reply to CoinDesk's response for comment. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays filed 20 criminal accounts against Kalshi this week, accusing the company of operating an illegal gambling business and offering election wagering in the state. Her office said that Arizona law bars both unlicensed wagering operations and election betting. Kalshi lets users trade contracts tied to real-world outcomes such as elections, sports, and economic data. The company said those products are event contracts overseen by the CFTC, which recently signaled more supportive federal stance towards these platforms. Kalshi, along with Cali Market, account for the lion's share of prediction market activity, commanding more than 90% of the national volume. So, the state officials in Arizona and elsewhere have argued that some of them look more like wagers and should fall under state gambling rules. That split now sits at the center of a larger national fight involving various states, including New York, Tennessee, and Massachusetts. And you can bet Nevada's probably going to get on board with that as well. It's not surprising that all these states will bring in new tools to bear an attempt to chill the federally regulated markets. So I think this is going to continue. I think, like I say, Nevada, you've got Las Vegas. I'm sure the casinos are like, well, maybe we would have liked to have had an app that people anywhere in any state could participate on. So I think it's going to get ugly between gambling and prediction markets. I see that happening because the gambling industry has money. They've got politicians. They've got all of these things. It's going to get ugly. So Crypto exchange Kraken freezes multi-billion-dollar IPO plan due to difficult market conditions. Kraken's parent company filed for the draft S-1 registration statement with the SEC in November regarding the proposed initial public offering in its common stock. Now, I just want to say, you guys, I have used a lot of different exchanges. I have opened accounts. Some of them I put money in. Some of them I never put money in. Some of them I just opened it up and wanted to see how the interface worked. And Kraken was one of those where I had just opened it and it was just there and I never did anything with it. I have been doing a lot of my settlements through crypto.com, and crypto.com, and I've always heard people complain about the fees on crypto.com. And I'm like, okay, the fees, whatever. But they're like, I feel like it's a company that I can trust. And if we're going to have an on-off ramp and we want to be able to get our money, you want to have a company that you feel like you can trust, right? So I've always gravitated towards crypto.com. Well, recently I've started to use Kraken, and Kraken has been amazing. Not only are their fees less, but like if I am using it as an off-ramp, the money hits my account twice as fast as it does if I go through crypto.com. So I'm like in one instance, not even 24 hours and the money was in my account. So I'm like pretty sure I'm going to have a hard time going back to wanting to use crypto.com because I'm like, why do I want it to take longer to get my money? And why do I want to pay more to get my money? So good for you, Julie. What a trader. Good. Brian's here. I should have known. I did this whole sweet speech for you, Brian, and the gifts that I have for you at the start of the show, but you were too busy with your other show and I just felt like you were cheating on me. And so my feelings were hurt, but I do have a gift for you still. I'm hanging on to it. So anyway, but Kraken has been amazing, right? I get my money. He's been here the whole time. Oh my God, you're killing me. Anyways, you guys, Kraken, if you're not using Kraken, use Kraken. Use Kraken. How do you handle transferring funds to my cold storage? I'm dealing with 2FA issues. You know what? My mom is also having 2FA issues on one of her accounts, and we haven't figured out how to get the way around. So her money has been trapped on a particular account. So I'll shoot you a message on X and we'll see if we can try and figure it out together, because I do need to help my mom get some money off of one of her accounts. She can't because she can't pass the 2FA on it. So, and it's unfortunate because the 2FA is supposed to be there to be secure, but if for some reason your 2FA is not working, then your money's stuck. And that's really not great. So anyway, I've not read the article yet, but you guys have already heard I'm a fan of Kraken. So Kraken's parent company had filed a draft S-1 registration statement with the SEC in November regarding the proposed initial IPO, initial stock offering. So crypto exchange Kraken, which announced 4 months ago that it planned to go public, has put it on hold according to people with knowledge to the matter. So the company is still considering an IPO, but will not until market conditions approve, said the people who spoke on conditions of anonymity because the matter is private. So hello, insider knowledge. A Kraken spokesperson said, "We announced in February we filed confidentially with the SEC, and that is all we can really share. The downturn in the crypto market since October, when Bitcoin touched a record high, has made companies more cautious about going public or raising fresh capital as declining asset prices, weaker trading volume weigh on valuations and investor sentiment." Why would you go IPO now when you can do it when there's euphoria and then you really pump it and you get even more money? That's good. Payward, Kraken's parent, said it confidentially filed the draft S-1 registration statement. in connection with the proposed IPO on November 19th. It was that day that Kraken said it was valued at $20 billion when it raised more than $800 million in new funding, including $200 million investments from Citadel Securities to support and push to bring traditional finance markets onto blockchain infrastructure. Kraken, holler at your girl. Don't you want to work together? Don't you want to work together? I think it would be great. So, moving on to more federal regulatory news. We are close this time, says Senator Lummis, on the market structure bill. So, the Wyoming Republican said that the main issue holding up passage of the bill was stablecoin yield, while adding that she believed the provision on DeFi had been put to bed. So, this article has been updated. All right. Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, one of the main proponents of the digital market asset structure bill in the U.S. Congress, said that the legislation is getting closer to passage despite things that she did not expect in 2025. Speaking at the DC Blockchain Summit hosted by the Digital Chamber on Wednesday, Lummis said that she had thought that the crypto industry would already be celebrating a victory lap for what she said. She had thought that the crypto industry, for the market structure bill, which passed the U.S. House of Representatives in July, she said that the main thing that had held it up was the fight over stablecoin yield and rewards between banking and crypto industry representatives. We are so close this time, Lummis said summit attendees. Some of the people that have been very dug in on the issue of yield versus rewards have been working closely with the White House, working with our members who have been trying to come up with a compromise on that issue, and we think we've got it. So, Lummis sits on the Senate Banking Committee, which has been responsible for the bill being stalled in the Congress after its chair, Tim Scott, indefinitely proposed the January markup on legislation. So the Senate Agriculture Committee advanced its version of the bill in January, but both pieces of legislation will need to be combined in some fashion to address issues related to commodities and securities law before the vote for chamber. So the Wyoming senator said that her and her colleagues would plan for an April markup after Congress Easter break. So as of Wednesday, the Banking Committee has not rescheduled the markup of the bill. So can Congress pass this bill before 2027? That's what they're trying to do ultimately. So the thing is, I'm hearing stuff on the timeline. I'm hearing things on the timeline about how this market structure bill, oh my gosh, artistic pause is here. The market structure bill is supposedly advancing. That's great. Cynthia Lummis says that, but it still comes down to needing to have everything defined as to whether it's a security or not. Now, I did see the CFTC came out and said that certain things were not securities. However, I believe that the legislation kind of defines everything as a security. So I don't know if what is in writing is matching what is being told to the public. And at this point, I think there's a disconnect between what the public is hearing is going on and what is actually going on behind the scenes. So is this really all about rewards and them not wanting to pay? Because I can't believe that traditional finance is going to come into crypto and be so upset about having to pay staking rewards or not being able to pay staking rewards. I think ultimately TradFi should be like, we were here first. We are the trusted bank. The people who trust you and your bank are going to, if they're going to get into crypto, they would do it through their bank if they really wanted to be safe. So anyway, yes, Artistic Pause is not feeling well today. She's been running a bit of a fever. Yes, in her 3 brain cells are present. That's great. Yeah, she wasn't feeling well when I picked her up yesterday. She started running a fever last night. She's running a little fever this morning too, so. And I've been here jabbering for the last 45 minutes. You guys, if you have not Smash the subscribe button. I am 3 subscribers away from 1,400. I need 3 more. 3 more. So go smash subscribe, please, por favor. And then I'm going to make the big announcement about me and Joxie being in Vegas very, very soon. I made a cute little graphic, so look out for that. And then, yeah, Kraken, if you watch this, holla at your girl. Let's work together. I love it here. So, and shout out to Market Cipher, the sponsor of today's show. You guys, Market Cipher, the indicator, the leading indicator to help you make informed decision on where this market is going. Because if you would have known that we would have had a massive unibooby with double big green dots. Just kidding. The Market Cipher link is in the description. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be back tomorrow with some more silliness at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And again on Friday with the Julie and Joxie show at 10 a.m. So be sure, smash the subscribe, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.